Oh. All right. Okay, we're waiting to see here. Right. So I'm just waiting to hear if there's a sound of success from past Visi. Okay, I've heard myself ask for the sound of success. I'll count that as success. So, hello people, we are live. By the looks of it, we are actually able to do this. So, if it doesn't look like we have anyone in chat, so just if anyone gets there, just pop a message in chat and we can, oh goodness gracious, see if that also works. Now, hello people, welcome to a random stream from a Visi on this whole channel, because I thought, why the hell not? But what the hell, kid? Let's do it. So, what's this little stream gonna be? Well, I've been hesitant to mention on this channel for various reasons that I have a second channel, but I do, and there I have done a bunch of world building stuff, which there is actually an animating on this channel, which is sort of linked to that. Now I'm gonna check real quick. I'm sorry if there was a sudden spike of audio, but my current setup is far from optimal, and I'm trying my best to put something to aid my microphone in not being terrible. So, to anyone caught in the blast radius, I apologize. But, alas, what are we here for? We are here to do some world building fun stuff, and that simply implies we're gonna sit around and muse on ideas while I have the chat of the stream available very much in the corner of my eye. So, what is this new format? I'm gonna sit around for 20 minutes and just ramble on about whatever comes to mind. Now, currently, what is on my mind is the gods of death in my personal world. So, let me just ready some knitting in my hands. Let's start working. So, gods of death. Who are they? Well, we have 3 gods of death. We have the god of disease, decay, and final death. Licht, Abend, and Nacht. In this combo, they fill various roles. Licht fills the role of the person you go to when you're sick, when there's still hope for you. Oh goodness, I am having a feedback of myself, and yeah, we won't be having that. Oh dear. Ah. Technology. You're my slave and not the other way around. Hail down Messiah. Um, so, what do we have here? Well, Lisht you go to if you're sick. Abend you'll go to when someone has died. When you need burial. Nacht you go to for penance, for redemption, to confess. Nacht deals with souls. One could say that Lisht deals with the living, and in fact, many of Lisht's followers, despite Lisht being a god of death, or life clerics, in so doing that they heal. They deal with death in the manner that they'll sit by your bedside and comfort you when you pass into eternity. They'll be the ones to seek out where a new plague has spread across the land and try their best to aid in solving this. This, however, does mean that they are not the strongest of the three gods. In fact, you could very easily say that there is a simple hierarchy. Lisht is weaker than Abend, Abend is weaker than Nacht in the current age, which is the 13th cycle. Now, cycles, that's a concept all in and of itself, which has its own layers upon layers of complexity. But before I forget, there is a major reason that I wanted to speak about the death gods, and that is that I wanted to give a shout out to someone who is, quite frankly, a wonderful person who I have not talked to for the past 2 years around that, who has drawn one of these death gods, namely Nacht, and I recently contacted them about using the image they drew for, in fact, today, contacted them about using the image they made for of Nacht for World Anvil, my World Anvil site. And let me explain why I am freaking out over this. Is that I did not pay for this thing. I simply asked, hey, would you be up for doing this? And got a yes. Now, 2 years after the last we spoke, I'm fairly sure we might have bumped into each other on Twitter since then, but very little. Guess everyone gets busy with life. I ask, and I hear, and get to hear that they're gonna touch it up, and my immediate reaction is to freak out, not sure how to respond. Just go, you're not paying me. I've not paid you anything for this. Take your commissions first. Come on. Like, I'm just thankful that I get to use what you have already made because it's fucking nice. So, being unable to put that into a good text because tone is very hard to convey in text without sounding. What do we do then? Well, I would like anyone who sees this stream, and I'm not sure if we have any watchers viewers right now. We might very well not have. But if we do, please, yes, go show them some love, Christia, and let me get the way their name is spelled, so that you will go to the right person. I'm going to have to find here. Go into my World Anvil. Now, go to Final Death. CRESTIA. You can find them both on Twitter and Instagram. This is where I was told to direct people. So, go show them a bunch of love, because they really deserve it, and they do commissions, I gather now, of D&D characters. So, if you need to, get characters drawn, I don't know how they're oh dear. Ooh, catch that. Ooh. Sorry, I am doing knitting. So, if you need character drawing. I don't know how their commissions work, but you know. Now I'm getting off topic. Sorry, World Anvil. I have a tendency to go off on a tangent, but alas, for anyone who wants to get back on topic, let's see here. So the Gods of Death. So this kind of harkens to my D&D group, and I will say that I use the world that this is for my writing, for just having fun, for D&D, for other roleplays. I use it for a lot of things because I basically just toy around with it. And the three Gods of Death are ones that my players of the main group that I run as a Dungeon Master on Sundays, which is why I call it my Sunday group most of the time, because they ended up calling themselves Ligma, and, well, it's hard to explain why it's a name, why specifically they call themselves. Let me see if I can remember it. It's the League of Incredibly Gay Marauders and Allies. Yeah, and Allies. The League of Incredibly Gay Marauders and Allies. It's an interesting one to try and explain. Now I'm getting a bunch of pings on my phone, which is less than ideal. So let me. Yes, let's me. Yes, Skaven will have revenge. Yes. So fun here. And now I'm hearing it over on the sound thing. So there. Oh, I just realized a place I have not advertised that I am streaming on that I really ought to do so on. Look at me being all professional, having set out exactly where I'm going to advertise, where I'm going to do all of this stuff, and yeah. If there's one skill that you pick up and test stream. Oh dear. Link is apparently broken. Ha 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 ha. It shouldn't be broken though. Why is it broken? Oh no, it's fixed. Okay, never mind. The arcane technologies work with us. The machine god smiles upon us. So, I have got the most monotone of voices right now, so let me try and switch that up and get into a more storyteller voice. So, the Gods of Death, what do they represent? Well, Lisht, let's pose scenarios. Let's pose that there's a plague spreading across the land that forces people to experience their skin rotting. Yeah, I've set this stream to not pay for kids, and now we got a good reason. Aside from Copa. So, first of all, Arbund has benefits from this, as open decay is something he thrives on. It gives him a amount of power, as it's part of his element. Now, it would also give Lisht power, though the codes of Lisht means that their clerics would seek out this area and seek out afflicted people to try and save them. And Lisht himself might very well have sensed that this was coming, and sought out the first afflicted to sit by their bedside as they fade into death, holding their hand and comforting them so that they do not die in fear. This is probably the most common story of Lisht, is in the way of the man or woman, often an old figure, coming to the door of a house with a sickly person, knocking on it and asking to see the person, then sitting by their side as they die. Unable to be afflicted, they are safe, and they can comfort the dying person. This is Lisht, god of decease, the god who is of death but will heal. They do not seek people to die for nothing. Next up, Abend. What happens once you have a dead person? Who takes care of a dead person? Because after all, you need a gravedigger. And a lot of undertakers are, in fact, followers of Abend. They will offer prayer. Oh, goodness sake, phone, do quiet down. They'll offer up a prayer to Abend from time to time, blessing that this ground shall not see those buried rise as undead bodies. Abend will be able to aid in the stopping of undead creatures rising in the way of skeletons, zombies, ghouls, that sort of thing. Spirits, though, is the domain of Nacht, the god of final death and the judge. Now, Nacht, as a character, is one who does not give a fuck. The meme variant would basically be, I've had enough of your shit, be gone, fuck. The major myth of Nacht is in fact one of how he, when he first began his new job of judge of those who have passed, saw so many grovel before him, fall to their knees and offer prayer, saying they were so sorry for all they had done in life, or openly indulging in it in an attempt to drag his interest. He said, I shall not see any difference between mortals. You shall all be judged equally. Your actions in life shall speak, not what you are here. After which he clawed out his own eyes. Now, as metal as that is, we can't forget, as he is a god, he does have true sight within a range, and he can still see you for all intents and purposes, but as far as a symbol goes, he has clawed out his eyes, and in fact, some of his followers have blindfolds over their eyes, which grant them blind sight. True sight is what Nacht has. Blind sight is what some of his followers have for a certain range, maybe 15 feet, while they have this blindfold on as a means of emulating their deity. Nacht clerics, I've also managed to blurt out recently in a D&D session, have this this thing they have done, where they will rise the body of someone who has died from suicide. They'll raise their spirit in order to help them come to peace, as a sort of act to avoid unresty spirits. For while Lisht seeks to make sure that no one dies in a brutal way, no one dies violently, instead they can die in peace, which would prevent the worst of undead rising from their own graves with vendettas. And Abend assures that the body cannot be risen. Nacht assures that the spirits who died unresting, rather his clerics, assure that such spirits are put to rest. Necromancy is most frowned upon by Nacht, most likely. Perhaps Lisht. That's a thing I'd have to muse more on. For Nacht, there are cases in history where clerics have risen the dead in the name of Nacht in order to prevent a larger evil. But mostly, Nacht is neutrality. It's one of the things in the Common God War. Nacht is not a major player. In simple terms, he does not care. If someone takes his place, so be it. He will not fight to retain it, but he will not give it up just without reason. He'll simply wait for someone who's worthy. If someone takes it from him, he'll succeed. Now that I've cracked out about the God Wars, let's go off on a little tangent. While it could be fun to explore the fact that, Abend is out to take a bit of power during the God Wars, that's something that I'll keep a little bit more secret for a while still, because my players might watch this, and if they get to know something here, well, that would be rather awkward, now would it not? So, what instead? Well, what about we talk of the Flame Lord? Another character who might play a major role during the God Wars, who I recently mused a lot on with, let's call them my muse for now. I'll not name any names, but some who know me might already know who that person is. The Flame Lord. Who is the Flame Lord? Well, strap in, kids, because we're going on Mr. Bones' wild ride of eldritch, ancient, and, quite frankly, probably shouldn't mess with. Welcome to the Don't Fuck With This armory. So, Flame Lord. Most simple version, he is a deity of fire, which has been around for cycles. He has been around by some lore keepers assumed from the very start. That is actually an excellent place to make a little tangent on how I write my stuff. Anything I write on my World Anvil site, typically I write from a perspective as of someone in the world. It's usually written that scholars theorize that this is the case. It's supposed that this is how it works, because I do not fancy writing everything set in stone. It's far more fun, I feel, to be able to alter things, but, major events might eventually get ironed out. I've started this world, like, a year ago soon, because my players wanted to play races that my previous setting didn't really have a place for, so, adapt, what is it, react, adapt, overcome, survive, adapt, overcome, whatever it is. I simply had to make something that fitted, and, well, 1 year later, I'm loving it. So, with that little quick disclaimer tangent out of the way, Flame Lord again. Well, fire god from ages past. Worshippers are clerics of light, druids with a more, some might call it destructive nature, druids who deal with forest fires, who use such forest fires. I know there's something going on in Australia right now, so sorry if this sounds disrespectful, but this is just how my world works. Fiction and reality are separate. Okay? I've not looked into that as well. So, and I don't look into a lot of news because it gets me very frustrated, so don't believe that that's just me knowing something. But alas. So, Flame God, there are druids who deal with forest fires, who use them to replenish things that fall. There are warlocks of the Great Old Ones, who serve the Flame Lord. For the Flame Lord is so ancient, and, in fact, a forest fire might to the Flame Lord mean just as much as a group of allies gathered around a campfire who has such a energy, such a life force to them, that their flame of life burns as bright, unified, as that forest fire it might be equal to. He is an enigma who seldom speaks, where Bahamut loth Nacht, well, not Nacht perhaps, because Nacht is a grumpy old man, but Abend and Lisht might speak with their followers. Druidic patrons as well speak to their followers. The Flame Lord simply burns. He does not exude his will, which is strange, for a god needs followers. They need belief in order to be there. The Flame Lord, though, has something in this world which he uses to manage somehow to pass this, to be able to be present without the need of a giant church under. Now we're starting to run out of time, but I'm going to continue for a little bit here. Why does he do this? How does he do it? Via a relic known simply as the kiln. This ancient relic is a forge of ancient dwarves which has been lost for cycles now. His memory still remains among the dwarves, so they do not forget easy. No dwarf today would call themselves a master smith, for that title lie in the kiln. The kiln is something me and my muse work a lot on in tandem. This relic works as an anchor for the Flame Lord. Even if people were to stop reciting his name, or to stop remembering his name, were to stop believing in him, so to speak, this relic act as an anchor in the same potent way that Necronos, the capital of the Drow, works as a nexus for Lolth. Now that's another discussion. This world holds many strange things. Strange things I would be keen to explore further in future videos. But alas, for now, I do believe I have a family that I would like to speak more with. Hang out with, have fun. But I will later today go back and watch the recorded video of this and see how it looks, because well, we didn't have any attendance. I've been able to blurt out a bunch of stuff off my chest, and that's always fun. I also had a chance to try out a new setup. Again, go give Crestia some love. Have a wonderful day. I'm not gonna